Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Cornbread Trucker here, coming to you from the Pilot just outside of Columbia, South Carolina. Set up for the night, make a delivery to my 90 in the morning. We've got some news to discuss with you. First, I want to kind of talk about a video I had done about a week, maybe a week and a half ago, give or take. And in that video, I had titled it going back to reefer division, and a couple of reasons why I'm going to bring that up. One of them is a question was asked of what about tanker. Now, I don't know if the person didn't fully watch the video or just curiosity. Maybe the person was inquiring about what I thought about tanker, but I will elaborate on that a little bit. A few months prior to going, couple months maybe prior to me going flatbed, I did inquire about tanker, and one of the question I had first, I'd like to say this. I want to thank my fleet manager at the time who shot out an email to somebody he knew, that a manager over there on the tanker side. He had worked with prior, included me into the email. So the situation is because where I live in Florida, I would have had the deadhead, pretty good distances. The closest one would have been Savannah, which wouldn't have been too bad, but I would have had the deadhead home and I'd had the deadhead out. And they generally don't hire in Florida. They kind of made it as a possibility if I was willing to do it, but nothing official, that maybe they would have been willing to give me the okay. But that really wasn't an ideal situation, so I did not do it. So that kind of brings me into, well, first let me say that answers, or at least that's my reason why not tanker. And I'm going to follow up with this person some more and see if they have a more specific question, and we'll go from there. However, when I went to flatbed, I asked some questions. Now, hindsight being 2020, I wish I would have went with some follow-up questions. I didn't at the time. I had asked if they had freight, if flatbed had freight in and out of Florida, and the answer was yes. I was also told, which I was already aware of, they have gypsum out of Savannah, and maybe there is quite a bit of freight that OTR runs out of Savannah, but I had not, at any time that I had been home, I had not been lucky enough, I'll put it that way, to get a load out of there. Except for, I take that back, there was one load that I could have picked up out of there that just, I don't run into New York City at all. I did that years ago, and I made a decision it just wasn't worth it to me. I know other people feel different, and that's great. If you want to run that, go right ahead. I had just made that decision that I'm not going to run there, and that's one of the reasons why I won't lease, is they give me the ability to say no. That being said, I'd not been offered any loads out of there, and I was, to be honest, as my conversation was yesterday, it doesn't sound like there's not a lot of options for that. So a lot of that's probably dedicated, and so the thing of it is this: when I ran reefer, getting into Florida is not a problem at all. And honestly, getting a load out is not difficult either. I generally don't have to deadhead far to pick up a load and get out of Florida. Flatbed, It's kind of a situation similar to tanker, except flatbed has some freight in Florida, but it appears generally not too much around where I live. And so I've had to do some pretty serious deadheads to get out of Florida. And the other problem is getting home. With reefer, I could get home, you know, generally about a day ahead of what I asked, or the day of that I asked to be home. With flatbed, it has been a scenario where you set a date to be home and they'll get you into the area, and then there just isn't enough work to keep you in that area. You'd have to, there's freight, but it goes away from there. It takes you further away, and they don't want to do that. And really, I don't want to either if it's going to be an issue getting me back when I need to be home by a certain date. That's just what there is to it. And so I've been, you know, basically getting home, you know, sometimes 3-4 days ahead of when I want to be home. And that's just days that I'm not working. And my schedules are such, the reason I have dates is because there's things that I need to do. And sometimes it's not just one date appointment, there might be 2-3 appointments. And so that wasn't really sitting well with me. And well, my scenario is changing where I'm going to probably have to be home more often. And so I waited till this last time just to kind of see if something different when it come to getting out. You know, getting in wasn't really an issue this time. We didn't really set a date for me to be home. I just needed to run by and pick up a different prescription. And but getting out turned out to be, you know, a chore. So, but I'm finally, you know, I got out the same day. Well, not necessarily out, but I did get to run and go pick up something. But it was a good another, you know, 300 and something mile deadhead to do it, and which really cuts into, you know, if you figure cents per mile, and honestly, you know, your money per day on this load. So, but that's the price of living in a peninsula. You know, it kind of peninsula like Florida. I'll just leave it at that. So with that, I am going to go back to reefer division. They are going to start working me back to Springfield. My previous fleet manager, reached out to him. He's excited for me to come back. I appreciate that. I'm going to go back to his fleet. You know, honestly, there was a couple times we didn't necessarily see eye to eye, but there was a time I went in and had a sit down with him, and to be honest, we worked that out, came to an understanding, and you know, there seems to be there was a pretty good working relationship there. He's a fleet manager. He's got a job to do. I've got a job to do. I've got to look out after my business. He's got to look out, you know, for Prime's business. So, and I can go on with stories about fleet or dispatchers and all that. So I'm going to go back to that. I've reached out to Success Leasing. I want to say thank you, Drew, and Success Leasing. He's been a big help. I'm going to be able to keep my truck. We just got to get a couple things done. That was, you know, wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do that. It didn't look like I was. But Drew gave me a call today and said that it would not be a problem. Just need to do this. So I'm grateful there. So thank you, Drew. I really appreciate it. I do want to say I have really enjoyed my time in flatbed. I've learned a lot. I enjoyed the work. The one thing I do not enjoy, and I think it's been pretty clear, I do not like preloaded trailers and tarped multiple drop loads. What that is a preloaded specifically a preloaded trailer, because the times that I've done that where I have to tarp the load as preloaded trailer, I get there's plastic on it. One time it was at night and they had some of the stuff that when they label what goes to what drop, they've had them turned the wrong way. You can't see it, so you don't know where it's at on the load. And that happened again the other day. And again, under plastic, and have no clue where it's at. And that one the other day, you know, I had 4 tarps on that. This 53-foot trailer with a load that high, I couldn't get it all covered. And you know, if they want it tarped, I assume that means the whole thing tarped, and not anything sticking out the back uncovered, or you know. So I do my job, and I do it the best I can, and I continue to try and improve on it. And however, that is very aggravating, to have to untarp entire load to find where stuff is at, and then have to tarp it. Now, I always assume if things are done the way we like them to be, it either be towards the back or to the top of the load. They were to a point, but I still had to untarp the entire trailer and then retarp it again, and I still needed the 4 tarps. So that's a lot of work. And the money is, you got tarp money for the 01 and the 90, and then you got stop pay, but that stop pay it's not worth it. Plus, as you know, that's an on-duty status. Now, I'm not saying there's not a gray area in there. I'm just saying that you have to show time for securing a load, tarping a load, untarping a load, and taking your straps or chains off. You know, and then if you got to put them all back on, I mean, that's time. That's the clock you're working. So not only is the pay not worth it, you're eating away hours that you can work. So that was the thing that I don't like about flatbed, at least with Prime. And I don't like the fact that, you know, I'm having the deadhead, you know, 500 miles just to get out away from home, and then not being able to get home when I'm asked to, when I want to. I'm having to get home sooner. So other than that, I have enjoyed it immensely, and I'm going to continue with this channel, talk about my journey. I'm probably will go back to training at some point, probably not right away, but I will. So, you know, if there's somebody that's interested in coming to Prime, and maybe want me to train you, you know, feel free to reach out to me, talk to me. We'll kind of get to know each other, kind of figure out when it is you're wanting to come to Prime, and kind of how that's going to work with maybe my schedule. But definitely reach out to me. And again, and if whether you want me to train you or not, you just have questions about Prime, feel free to reach out to me. You know, if you want to come to Prime and use my driver code, it's in the description. I've got my phone number in there, my email's in there. Feel free to email me, text me. I prefer you maybe text me, let me know that, you know, you're not currently with Prime and interested in coming to Prime. You know, let me know who you are. But I'd be glad to answer any questions. And to the drivers, I had a gentleman message me when I picked up cinder blocks up in Alabama the other day. He thought he recognized me, and I guess apparently it was bugging him pretty good. So he messaged me wanting to know if that was me. I told him yes, it was. And yeah, he told me that it was kind of bugging him because he thought it was me. I want anybody to know, if you see me, feel free to come up, introduce yourself, talk, you know, give me your opinion on things. If there's something that I discussed, even with this move back to reefer, feel free to come and, you know, throw your 2 cents in. I'm pretty open-minded about a lot of things. Even if I feel like this is how I want to do something, whatever, I'm still willing to listen. I'm never going to bury my head in the sand. You know, there's different perspectives to a lot of different things and for a lot of different reasons. So feel free, please come over, talk to me, throw your 2 cents in. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. We're at 15-minute mark, so it's going to take a little bit for this to get uploaded. So, you know, guys, again, thank you very much. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. I hope that continues to grow, and I hope that I can help some people that has not that does not have a CDL and they want to get into this business. You know, this is life-changing. Some people maybe not so much, but others it is a big life change that really helps them financially. You know, but I say if you've got to have the right attitude, meaning you've got to be willing to be away from home. There are jobs that you can get local. You can get some local jobs or dedicated routes and stuff that pay good. But generally, most of the time, you've got to be willing to be out on the road. And so, you know, you got to have that mindset. And I really like to see people come out here that's hungry. When I have a trainee that they're really hungry, want to learn, want to make their lives better. You know, I really like that. Not everybody necessarily fits with me, but people do this for different reasons, and there's no wrong or right reason. It's just, you know, does it work for you? Anyway, so that's all I'm going to say here. We'll catch you on another one. You guys be safe, and we'll talk to you later.